Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Railfan Rankings. I'm VC Railfan 15.
I'm Washington District Railfan.
And today we will be ranking our top CSX paint schemes in history. So coming in at number 5 in our rankings is the Csx Stealth Scheme. So this was CSX's first big paint scheme that they put on when they became a railroad back in the late 80s and was first applied to the early Yn3bs and early GEs that were commonly used in that era. We put this paint scheme last because it lacked the identity that CSX has become known for, and that's that iconic yellow nose. And it also reminded us of a lot of other paint schemes, namely like the KCS Gray Ghost or like the Seaboard Gray that wasn't too original at that time.
At number 4 on our list is CSX's Yn1 paint scheme. This was the first paint scheme to be classified using the Yn markings that would become standard for every paint scheme following. This was first used in 1989 and was CSX's shortest running paint scheme. It had a few minor differences to the Stealth Scheme, which included the addition of the yellow nose, which would become a staple of every paint scheme following. Even though it only ran for about a year, it was important in CSX's evolution in marketing and branding.
Coming in next at number 3 in our rankings is the CSX Yn3 paint scheme. As you can see, this is the all blue paint with the yellow nose that has now become the staple of CSX today. It was first applied in 2002, and it gave CSX that clean, dark colorway that we have come to know. And with the exception of only a few hundred engines here in the year 2022 that are in Yn2 paint scheme, almost all of CSX rosters boast this paint scheme, and you can most commonly see it on the new GEs of today, like the Gevos, or even many of the SD40s, GP40s in Jeeps that have been repainted to this paint scheme.
For number 2, we have CSX's current paint scheme, the Yn3b Scheme. This is identical to Yn3, except the logo has been updated to show the current CSX boxcar logo. This scheme debuted on ES44 ACs and has become the standard scheme for every locomotive released since then, including rebuilds and every new GE product CSX has bought. Even non-enthusiasts will recognize the scheme due to its prominence on many containers and trucks, as well as CSX's rail equipment.
And finally, coming in at number 1 on our list of CSX paint schemes is the iconic gray Yn2. So Yn2 was first started in 1990. It was actually first put on a B36-7, number 5895, down in Waycross in March of 1990. And for the next 12 years, this Yn2 scheme became CSX's paint.
All GE products ordered between 1990 and 2002 received this paint scheme, which included some of CSX's most widely used and widely purchased locomotives, including the Dash 8s and AC4400s. The paint scheme would remain the same across all engines from this era, with the exception of one, the AC6000s, which featured yellow text on the side as opposed to blue, as well as a slightly different font.
These bright colors, the gray, just looks amazing when it's fresh out of the shops. And that's why it's become so iconic. Cadence mentioned the yellow variation is even better as well. And even today, you can still see some of these Yn2 locomotives, mostly on the AC44s. There's 20 or so Yn3b still out there that still have it. But this is by far, in a way, our favorite paint scheme in the CSX era.
Thank you guys so much for watching the first episode of this new series. If you disagree with us, let us know in the comments or tell us what we should rank next. We'll see you guys in the next one.